With this session, we will continue with factorising and try a few more questions just to keep practicing. So for our first question, I thought we'd use some different symbols. So you can see we have some love hearts and some balloons. All right, so we know the first step when it comes to factorising is it's the opposite of expanding, so get your brackets ready. And there's a plus in the middle, so a plus goes in the middle. Now, I need to look and see what's on both sides, and if I see the same thing on both sides, I can take it out. So starting with my love hearts, I can see I've got one love heart here and one there, so that's two, and one on this side. So I can always take out my smallest amount. If I take one love heart from here, which is my smallest amount, there are no more left. So I've taken out one love heart, okay? But of course, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I can take out one love heart from here. They're both gone. Really, when we take it out, we're sort of dividing by a love heart. So it's just one and one. So my leftover so far is one on this side. And I'll put a one here just in case there's nothing else. Okay, so, but I'm left with a love heart on this side. So I must put a love heart down here. Okay, so you can see how we had two love hearts on this side, one on this side, and I can take out my smallest amount, which is one love heart, and I'm left with one over here. So this one over here can be invisible now because there's a love heart there. And I'll cross this love heart off because I've already used it, and now I can move on to my balloons. Now I can see I've got a balloon on both sides. So straight away I know I can take out, well, my smallest amount is just one balloon because there's one on both sides. So I'll take out my balloon, my one balloon, and they're both gone from both sides. Okay, and yes, it's a 1, but I don't have to write it again. And that's it. I've factorised it. I've taken out my smallest amount, and any leftovers are in the brackets. With our next question, it looks more like algebra. So it helps to have a look and see what you have on both sides. Straight away, I can see a 3 on both sides, and also there's p's on both sides. So I can take out, both of these both numbers and also the variables. So starting with my number, whenever you see the same number on both sides, you can just take it out straight away. The highest factor of 3 and 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I'll put a 1 here and a 1 there, just in case there's nothing else, and the 1 has to be visible. Next, I have two p's over here, because p squared is saying p times p, and 1p here. So my smallest amount is 1p. It's gone from this side. I can take out 1p, and remember there's an invisible 1 that tells us it's 1p, and 2 take away 1 on this side is 1p. So I'm left with a p in here, and I'm done. We can make this 1 invisible here, okay, and also that little power, and that's it. And of course, if you have time, check and see if you have actually factorized it properly. We know if we expand this now, okay, so the invisible times here, we should get what we started off with. So 3p, I would have 3p times p in one bracket plus 3p times 1, and let's see what we get. Well, 3p times p, I add the powers of my p, which is going to be p squared. So 3p squared, or to the power of 2, plus 3p times 1 is just 3p. And I have ended up with what I started off with. So I have factorized this correctly. Our next question, if I have a look and see, I can see there are no powers that are visible. So there's one of every variable, either on this side or that side. So it should be an easier question. So first step is get our brackets ready, and the takeaway goes in the middle. All right, starting with 12 and 15. The highest factor of 12 and 15 I could think of is 3. So I can divide them both by 3. So 3 is my highest factor on the outside. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And they are leftovers. Okay, and they go inside the brackets. Next, I'll focus on my variable a. Do I have an a on this side here? Yes, I do. Because there's one a on both sides, I can take out one a, and they're just gone. And that's it. B, I've got B here and a B there. Yes, it's on both sides. I can take out one B and then the B's are gone. And we know it's really a 1 that's left over. And of course, there's times in between everything. So I don't have to write a 1 here. It's just 4 times 1 is 4. And the same on this side. Next, a C. Is there a C on this side? Unfortunately, there is no C on this side. So I can't take out the C. So it's automatically a leftover on the left-hand side. Okay? And it stays where it is basically. I'll cross it off because I've used my C. Next, I've got a D. And I happen to have a D on this side as well. So because there's one D on both sides, I can take out one D and my D's are gone. And last of all, there's an X just sitting here. I can see there is no X on this side, so the X just sits there. It's automatically a leftover, so it just stays where it is. And we're done. So you can double check if you expand this, do we get what we started off with? And it looks like that. It looks like we will. Now our next question, basically this is the hardest question you can possibly get. In your textbook, the questions are so easy that it's quite boring. And this isn't hard at all. Once you understand what's happening, it's pretty straightforward. So first step, get your brackets ready and put a plus in the middle. Okay, try and have a go and do this before I do it, so you're practicing. And next, let's start with our numbers. 2 and 12. What's the highest factor of 2 and 12? Well, I can see it's 2. So I can divide them both by a factor of 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I've got 1 and 6 in my brackets as leftovers. Next, I've got 2 A's on this side and 6 A's on that side. I can take out my smallest amount, which is 2 A's. So A to the power of 2 is outside. It's gone from that side. And of course, 6 take away 2 is just 4. So I have A to the power of 4. Okay, and my A is taken care of. Next, I've got my B's. I've got 5 here and 7 there. My smallest amount is 5 B's. So out it goes. It's gone from this side. And 7 take away 5 is just 2. So I end up with B to the power of 2 on this side here. Okay, and my B is taken care of. And last variable, I've got 10 C's here and 1 C there. I can take out my smallest amount, which is 1 C. And it's gone from this side. But 10 take away 1 is 9. So on this side here, I end up with a variable that has C to the power of 9. And C is taken care of. And that's our answer. 1 key can become invisible because the C is now there. And you can double check if you expand this, are you going to get what you started off with? Okay, and it looks like we will. Now our next question might look a bit more challenging, but it's just as easy. You notice we have, instead of 2 terms, we've got now 3. And on the worksheet that you'll be doing, you'll see some questions like this, and I want you to have a go because it is actually quite easy. It's the same thing that we're doing, but because we've got 3 terms, our brackets will look a little bit different. So get your brackets ready, and because we've got 2 pluses, you put 2 pluses in the brackets, okay, instead of just 1. And that means you are going to have, you've got 3 spaces in the bracket to fill in. First space, second space, and third space. There has to be something in all those spaces. If there's no variable or numbers, it will be 1. And out here, of course, is the highest factor. Now, whatever you take out now has to come from all 3 sections. So we've got, let's say, 1 section, 2, and 3. So the 3 terms, whatever you take out has to be on all 3. If it's not, you can't take it out. Let's have a look. Starting with my A, do you see an A on all 3 sides? Well, I've got an A here, an A there, and an A there. Okay, so I've got 1 A in each section, so I can take out 1 A. Oops, sorry, just froze. Take out 1 A, and it's gone from all these sides. My leftover is going to be a 1, and I'll put a 1 in just in case there's nothing else. I'll rub off these lines here so it doesn't look too confusing. So I've got a 1 in each section. Okay, my next variable, I've got a B here, a B there, and a B here. It's on all 3 sides, so I can take out 1 B. So it's gone from here and there, and it's all just 1 as well. Okay, and I don't have to write 1 again. I've already done it once. Now I can see I've got a C here. Do I have a C on the other two sides? Unfortunately, I don't. So I cannot take the C out. It automatically is just stuck there. It's in section 1, so it's in the first section. And I've taken care of my C, so I'll cross it off. I move on. I've got an E in the middle section, the second section. Unfortunately, I can't take it out because there's no E's on the other two sides, so the E is also stuck in the middle. And last variable is a T. I can't take it out once again. There are no T's in the other two sections, so it's just stuck where it is in the last section. And I'm done. To make it look more professional, the 1 now can be invisible in each section because we have a variable there. And that's it. Now, if you were to expand this, you would have AB times C plus AB times E plus AB times T. And we'll get what we started off with. AB times C is just ABC plus in the middle. AB times E is ABE. Yep, the same thing here. So far both sections are correct. Plus AB times T is just ABT. Same thing. And we know that ATB and ABT are the same thing. Order doesn't matter because there's an invisible times in between everything and it doesn't matter. And that's how easy it is. Now, the next few questions that I'm doing are coming from the worksheet that you'll be working on. And the worksheet has page 192 on the bottom. And the reason why I'm doing these questions is they're basically the hardest question that you'll get on your worksheets. And they're actually just as easy as what we've been doing before. It's just that some of the variables they use, some of the letters, look confusing. Okay, so if you have a look at M that we're doing, the question asks us to factorize this. So we've got V and W's and X's. I don't like to use V's when I'm doing examples, but that's what they've given us. So we can see we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So once again, you get your brackets ready, and we've got a plus here and a takeaway there. And we've got our 3 spaces that we need to fill in, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. If you want to leave lines there to remind you there are 3 spaces, you can, but I'll rub it off because it looks a bit messy on this writing pad. Okay, so start with the first letter we see, the first thing. There's no number here, so obviously we can't take out any numbers. So we've got a V first. Do you see a V in all 3 sections? I've got 1 here, 2 here, and 1 there. So I can see my smallest amount is 1 V, so I can take out 1 V. And so 1 is gone from here, 1 is gone from there, but 2 in the middle, so I've got 2 V's here. 2 take away 1 is just 1. So I'm stuck with, in the middle, 1 V. Okay, and it sits in the middle. And my V is taken care of. Next, I've got W here. Do I have a W in the other 2 sections? I have a W on this end, but not in the middle. So unfortunately, I can't take out the W because the W is not in all 3 sections. So there's a W in the first section that's a leftover, and a W in the last section. Okay, and the W's are now taken care of. They just were stuck there. And I actually forgot to put a 1 in those sections as leftovers in case there was nothing else. So just keep that in mind. All right, and I've got now, if I move on to the middle section to see what's left, I've got a 7 here and a 3 there. They're my only numbers. There was no number in the first section, so 7 and 3 are automatically a leftover. Whoops, I put that in the wrong section. Sorry. That 7's in the middle, so it stays in the middle. I'll try and write it first because it's good to have your numbers first and then your variable. So 7 and then V was already there. So 7's there and 3's on the end. I'll squeeze it in the front there and 3's taken care of. And last of all, I've got an X on the end. Okay, and there's no other X's anywhere else, so the X is just stuck on the end. And guess what? We're done. So if you expand this, V times W will give me VW. V times 7V will give me 7V squared. And V times 3WX will give me 3WXV. Or order doesn't matter. Okay, and that's how easy it is. All right, the next one I'm doing is O. So it asks us to factorize this one here. This one looks a bit more easy because it's only got 2 terms. So get your brackets ready and put a plus in the middle. All right, so starting with what I've got first, which is F. I've got 3 F's on this side and 1 F on this side. I can take out my smallest amount, which is 1 F. So out it goes. It's a 1 left over, so I'll put a 1 there. And 3 take away 1 is just 2. So I have F squared, or F to the power of 2, left over in the middle. And F's taken care of. Next, this one's easy. I've got 2 G's on this side and 2 G's on that side. It's the same amount of G's, so I can take out 2 G's and they're both gone. And that's it. I've got a 1 here as my leftover. Just write it once, even though, we got 1 times 1, which is 1. And that's it. And make sure that 1 is visible. There has to be something visible. And you can double check this. If I go that times that and that times that, you can check if we get the same thing. Now with our last question, I'm doing P. The reason why this one looks confusing is because we have P and Q and they sort of look similar. So what you can do is, what I'm going to do is I'll pick a color. I haven't used orange before. I'm going to go over my Q's in orange. And if you're more color coordinated, you can actually do this to see exactly what you have in all sections. And I can see that I've got Q's in all sections as well as P's. P's are my blue color and Q's are my orange color. So it sort of helps to see what you're going to be taking out. So your first step is get your brackets ready. And we've got 2 pluses in the middle, or in the bracket, sorry. And we've got to fill in our 3 sections, section 1, 2, and 3. All have to have something. And of course, the highest factor out here. So starting with my P's, I've got 3 P's on this side, 2 in the middle, and 1 on the end. I can take out my smallest amount, which is 1. So 1 P can go outside. It's gone from there. The leftover is just a 1. So I'll put a 1 here in case there's nothing else. I'll just rub these off now. So 1 can go here. And 2 take away 1 is just 1. So I have another P in the middle. And 3 take away 1 is just 2. Oops, sorry. So P to the power of 2. I'll just change my pluses to a different color so it looks more clear. All right, so my P's are all taken care of. So I can cross, just missed that. I can cross them off and P's are done. The next thing I've got to take out are my Q's. And I can use orange to do the Q's. So I can see I've got Q's in all 3 sections. So taking out my smallest amount, I've got 2 here, 1 there, and 1 there. So 1 Q is my smallest amount. Out it goes. So 1 is gone from there, 1 is gone from there. But here I've got 2, so 2 take away 1 is just 1. So I'll end up with 1 Q right on the end. And that's it. So we double check this. If I expand this, am I going to get what I started off with? Let's have a quick look. PQ, so I can put it in brackets, PQ times P squared, Q, in my first bracket, plus PQ times P, plus, well, PQ times that 1 is obviously going to be PQ. So we can leave that out. So I'll just write it here. We end up with PQ. That's quite easy. So now down here I have PQ times P squared Q. So I've got 1P here plus 2P. So that's P to the power of 3. Remember, we're multiplying, so add the powers. I've got 1Q here plus 1. So that's Q squared. Did I have that at the beginning? Yes. P to the power of 3 and Q squared. Perfect. Plus in the middle, PQ times P, so 1P plus 1P is once again P squared, or P to the power of 2. Don't forget the Q sitting there, and the Q just sits there. And do I have that in the middle? Yes, P squared and a Q. And last one, plus PQ. That was easy, because PQ times 1 is just PQ, and I got PQ there. So I have factorized this correctly. So please keep practicing. I know it is tricky, but the more you practice, the easier it is. Thank you.